Thank you, ma'am. Before moving further for this session, I would like my participants to please answer this. I have used this slide, personality development for teachers in higher education. There are two images used in this very first opening slide. Can any one of you describe these two images which I have used in this slide? We have a lot many people who are joined here, and I would like it to be more on a monologue based, like dialogue basis, rather than a monologue session. Good afternoon, all. I hope the people who have logged in are here, or post lunch, are they feeling sleepy?
Not at all, ma'am. Waiting to hear from you.
Good afternoon, Rashmi, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good to hear your voice. The chances are that if you have an online session and that to post lunch.
Yeah, I know, I understand, because I'm a teacher.
You can say a tough task to make participants interact.
Yes, I understand totally.
Anyone else who is presently there in the session apart from Rashmi, ma'am? Okay, Rashmi ma'am, this question can be asked from you, that can you differentiate the two images which I have used in my first slide?
Oh God, you're putting me on the spot.
A very small, for us as teachers, it is like breathing in and out.
No, I can't get any connection here. No, I don't think I can answer you.
Okay. No worries, ma'am. So basically, when I have used these two images, what the purpose behind it, like teaching prior to what we are facing now in this digital world after post-COVID pandemic, what we can see is teaching has completely changed. And we as educators, we as teachers have much more to do beyond just simply teaching students, because like in the first image you can see a teacher is there sitting and the two students are there on the opposite side, and yes, it's like a monologue kind of a thing where teacher is teaching something and students are listening to it. But when you have on the click of the mouse, you have information available readily, which you can use, and you have so much of information overload. So what is the role of a teacher now? It is not only providing information, it is like involving them, providing them an avenue to be involved, to give them the wisdom to judge what is right, what is wrong. Because nowadays, what we can say, a message which is there floated on WhatsApp becomes viral, and people start following it, or they start showing their likes and dislikes, not even before judging that whether it is authentic or not. So here the role of teacher becomes more pivotal, that yes, we as teachers are not there only to disseminate information, but yes, to make them understand the nuances and make them understand that what is right and what is wrong.
Discern the differences between what is actually evidence-based and not so.
Yes, very true, ma'am. So I don't want to put you in a difficult situation, Rashmi ma'am, again.
Oh,
so
no. There are no others there. This is like how I am in my classroom.
Yeah. So I thought that if teachers would be interacting, this would be the next question, that any one favorite teacher of yours and why? If we can ask you, Rashmi ma'am.
Yes, I think I did this last class also. One of my English teachers from my, higher secondary classes.
Okay.
One sister, Mari Lowell. Yeah.
And what was the reason that you liked her, or she was your favorite teacher?
Because she would make that English lessons very interesting, and she would, basically, how do I say it? She would use these different voices to make the roles come alive for me.
Voice
so
modulation.
That's how English literature. Yeah, that's how the English literature become my favorite. So now I read because of her. What do I say? Yeah, because of that inspiration.
Yes, so that's what, like, if we remember a teacher, it is basically one thing is their teaching pedagogy, certainly, and second thing is the way they are doing something different which others are not doing. That is how they are carving a niche, how differentiating they are from rest of the teachers. And many of us who are there, or maybe teachers, as teachers, we would agree that when we are working, if we see ourselves and we have 5 different teachers who are teaching the same lot of students, what we feel that all of us are unique. Every one of us has some different USP which other is lacking behind. So we as teachers should imbibe all those things, all positive personality traits from them, and start working on our negative things. And that is what I want to emphasize in this session. So the 4 competencies which we as teachers should be working upon is, first, Jesse, you said that he used to make the class more interacting while using voice modulation and involving you and other students. So that is certainly pedagogy. Second comes professional. Third is personality, competency, and fourth one being social competence. So we'll start with the first one, and first one I feel someone has delivered a lecture on in this entire session, a series of FDP, because I could see there was some pedagogical initiatives in teaching and learning in higher education. So we as teachers, we know that we have to carve a niche. Pedagogy means what we are doing unique to our syllabus, which others are not doing. So over here, as teacher, it is our duty to create a niche. And what we can do is, everyone is there teaching theory, whatever information is there available on books, we are providing to the student. With this, even they can learn. But how we can infuse those theories into practical application is what a teacher can do, so to carve a differentiating factor or to carve a niche. And that is what is required for us as teachers to do. Now, this competency is why it is needed, because we have different lot of students who are there in the class. Some may be slow learners, some may be fast learners, some may be very well read off. So what we as teachers have to do, we have to ensure that all of the students belonging to different castes, ethnicity, background, having different interests, they should all be imbibed together in one particular manner, so that all of them are able to understand what we want to deliver to them, and not only in theoretical term but also in practical application of our subjects. Second is professional competency. Now, what is professional competency? As we all know, professional competencies are the skills, knowledge, and attributes that are specifically valued by professional associations, because they have their own organization. Like if you see doctors, they have their own professional association, and there are certain things which are expected from them. They should be ethical, they should be, you can say, trustworthy, they should be true. So what happens is, professional competencies are those skills which are required or expected from a person, so that he delivers in his profession in an immaculate manner. So if a person who's working in an HR, in any organization, he should have deep understanding of his core competencies, like negotiation, communicating, managing the onboarding process of employees, working for their payrolls, exiting process, everything which is there related. So what happens is, it is his professional competency in his work for which he is being hired. So teachers' competency, if we talk about, if we are competent enough, certainly what would be the best thing is that we will be contributing to the, what we can say, that we would be contributing in the growth of the students, both in academic as well as co-curricular manner. So what happens is, if we are competent enough, our student would be more well read off, they would be more smart, they would be more competent, because that is what we would be imparting in our student, that is how to be professional in whatever profession you are. Then comes social competency. Now, social competency, why is it important nowadays, or it was important and still it is important? The reason behind this social competency is that we say na, human beings, हम सब एक सामाजिक प्राणी हैं. All of us are human beings, and we do not work in isolation. We do not work without anyone. So what happens is, we have to work with a team. We have to work with stakeholders. It may be principal, it may be our colleagues, it may be head of department, students, parents, and various stakeholders who are there in education system, who are there with us. So through this social competency, we are able to build a rapport. We are able to carve beautiful relationship with colleagues, with our seniors, peers, everyone. So what happens is when we are able to establish and maintain healthy relationship and we are able to socially interact, so this in turn helps us to create a positive image, not only of us as a person, but of our school, of our college in which we are working, of our family and community as a whole. So what happens is, if we are into teaching line, chances are there that in schools and colleges, most often we may be asked to interact with our parents, call them, keep them updated about the progress of their child. If there is any child who needs special attention or he's tracking, he's not behaving in a normal manner, and he needs counseling. We want his parents to be brought to notice all such things. So here comes our social competency into play. And this social competency, even if we are lacking in pedagogical competency or professional, this social competency help us in bringing in creating a rapport with the students, and they become so very comfortable, and they share their problems, they share their grievances, they share their personal life with us as teachers. And here comes our role of grooming them. Here comes our role of teacher to listen to their problem, to be empathetic, to empathize with them and provide them solutions so that they become a better person. Any doubts to anyone till now, ma'am? I hope everyone is there on the same platform. I would appreciate if you all can please write something in the chat box. Okay, I can go through this. Thank you, Prem Singh, sir. Then comes personality, and that is what today's session is all about, personality. Now, if I ask one basic question, what is personality according to us? Any one of you who can describe any one positive personality trait or one negative personality trait? I would appreciate if participants are not there here as in invisible mode. Any one of you who can write in the chat box, or who can unmute your mic and speak up on any one or two personality traits which you think are a part of positive personality or a negative personality. If no one is answering, then let me continue with my slides. Just give me a second. So what personality is? Personality describes the unique pattern of thought, feeling, and behavior. Very good. Yes, attitude, behavior. Yes, Rashmi ma'am, you are the most active student of my class, I would say. Thank you, ma'am. So personality is a unique pattern of thought, feeling, and behavior that distinguishes one person from another. Like if I speak of myself, I have a twin sister, and both of us are, you can say, extreme sides of a line. Both of us are extremely different, both in terms of your appearance and both in terms of nature. Our personality is entirely different. She is very extrovert. She likes to talk. She likes to make new friends. She's very outgoing and outspoken kind of a person. And me as a person, if you say I'm ambivert kind of a person, not much into exploring new places, not much. I'm not very readily comfortable with each and everyone who's there around me, and she readily is. So what happens? Though we are born and brought up in the same family, both of us have same DNA and genes, but yes, we as individuals are different. She is very short tempered. So what happens is, if someone is saying something, chances are that she'll be more aggressive and assertive in her reaction. And me, on the other hand, I would say I would think of the person, maybe I'll think that he's pestered by something. He's not in a proper, like, if a person is saying something or misbehaving, I would assume that okay, there may be something wrong which is going on in his life, and that is his or her outburst of emotions. So I'll try to empathize and I'll try to adjust with that person if it is for once. But yes, if it is now every now and then, certainly then you have to pay back with the same coin. So what happens is personality is something which differentiates one person from another. So like we say, I still remember my parents used to say, ki, okay, I'm more responsible as a sibling as compared to my sister and brother. So that one thing which is more responsive and more caring was a part of my personality. So we all have people like if I speak about my mother-in-law, she's very caring. If I talk about my husband, he demands perfection. So what happens? Every one of us have some or the other things which describes our entire personality, our entire behavior, our entire persona. That is personality. So the word personality stems from a Latin word persona, which when you go through review of literature or you'll find in authors, it is also a Greek word, persona, which means or refers to a theoretical mask worn by a performer to play role or disguise their identities. अगर हम देखें, हम इंडियन कंटेक्स्ट में बोलते हैं कि मुखौटे जो हम लगाते हैं, that is our persona. Perceive. How a person perceives you is your personality. Now what happens is, if we go deep into this term personality, different type of theories you'll find. There are different people who have contributed, be it Skinner, be it Sigmund Freud. Many of them have given different theories of personality, how it is evolved, how it can be shaped, how you can change your personality with proper training. So what happens is personality is, in a nutshell, it refers both to biological as well as sociological or psychological process. Fine. Now, next, personality development. Now, a man is identified by his personality because that is his public image. At times, this public image is genuine, it is true. And at times, what you will find is that this image is created. You are behaving, you are interacting with a person, but yes, you are not being your true self. So at times, yes, nowadays people try to have many faces. There are different faces of a person. He's different to you as a colleague. He's different to you as a father. He's different to you as a, you can say, friend. So what happens? Every one of us have different personalities, which we exhibit as and when a situation is needed. So in totality, what we say, it is not just external looks. People normally confuse personality with only personality or physical traits. She's very smart, she's very beautiful, he's very well built, his height is good, his color is so fair. No, it is beyond this physical characteristics. It is you can say it is a psychological or it is composition of biological as well as psychological process. So personality development, why we work upon? Because it is the way we want to improve our behavioral characteristics. I cannot change the way I am. I cannot change my height. I cannot change my complexion. I cannot change my you can say personality factors which I have been inherited with. But yes, I can as a person groom myself. I can change my persona. I can make my personality more, you can say, presentable. I can work upon presentability part. But yes, I cannot change the personality which I have been born with. Fine. So what happens is, it is a sum total of how I'm communicating, how I'm behaving, how I'm making relationships. So these all things comprise of personality. And certainly, being born with a different we at times see, we can see a famous actress like Rekha. If we see her in her first movie and if we see her till now, there's a drastic, or you can say a remarkable change in her personality as an actress. Same goes with n number of stars, and same happens with us. If we see our pictures, maybe 5 to 7 years what prior we were, so what we would certainly think of, how different I used to look. But yes, after a certain point of time, we all feel and we change ourselves. And this change which is done in our personality is something which is not all of a sudden. It is something which is deliberate. And that is what is needed for us as teachers, because if we have a positive personality, certainly there are studies which say that the positive personality of a teacher is associated with positive outcome or positive result from students. Fine. Now, what is personality development? It is enhancing and grooming one's outer and inner self to bring about the changes which we feel our role models have, and we are lacking behind it. If we feel there's a scope of changing ourselves as a person, so certainly we become a better person if we are working on our personality development. Then, if when we are working on personality development, certainly it not only helps us, it boosts our confidence. We are there, we become a better person, and hence we have a very positive image, not only in front of students, in front of our colleagues, in front of our family, and in front of society. And everyone wants to be loved, everyone wants to be appreciated, and everyone wants to be what you respected. And if we feel there's a change, there's a requirement to work upon a personality, certainly we should work upon, because before first impression is your last impression. When you walk in, no one will understand what your knowledge is, how wise you are, what your wisdom is, what your background is. But yes, the way you walk inside your a classroom is the first thing which a student catches attention, is the first thing which a student is inclined towards. If you walk in class and you stammer and you're not able to deliver your subject, certainly you cannot command respect from students. They won't follow you. But yes, if you walk into the class, you are confident, you know your subject, you are there able to deliver it in a very nice and presentable manner, certainly student will fall behind you, and they'll be your followers. Whatever you are saying, they would follow without any hitch. So that is what we as teachers carry, a positive persona. Teacher's personality continues, certainly. It's not only teacher's personality, but everyone of us continues to, because it is rightly said that change is the only constant in life. So what happens is, as a teacher, our personality continues to change. And why? It is because of environmental factors. It is because of genetic, and then cultural context, and moreover, type of student and intellect. As rightly said, that leadership is situational. The way you have your students, they will groom you as a teacher. जैसे आपके बच्चे होंगे, वैसे आप teacher होंगे. So what we see, if I find and I go into a class where students are least bothered to study, you have to be on your toes to make them understand, to read them, to teach whatever subject you have been assigned or allocated. So what happens is, even you would be lethargic. You won't work very hard. But yes, if you work into a class, students are brimming with knowledge, they ask you questions which make you feel discomfortable, certainly you'll work a lot on your subject. And yes, with this, your personality will certainly improve. So what happens is, the type of students which you are teaching, whether they belong to category X or category Y of theory of motivation, certainly will drive you as a person, will shape you as a person. Now, this is one very good thing, if you all can go through it. The work of every teacher is to tell, which majority of us do. The task of a good teacher is to explain, and a superior teacher is who demonstrates. But the best one is who inspires us to do something extraordinary, to do something which is beyond your capacity. And that is where we as teachers fit in. We have to inspire the budding managers to become good corporate citizens of tomorrow. And yes, here what we as mentors, we as teachers have to do, that we should be able to inspire our budding managers or millennial generation to work forward, not only for betterment of their personality or for their career, but for the society as a whole. Now, why it is important, or why personality development is important? So why it is more challenging and why it is more important? The first and foremost reason is that we are living in a society which is known as a society which is there controlled by digitally empowered society. A society where a time where we could say everything is there available to each one of us on the click of a mouse. If I want to search who is a particular person, I just need to go to Google, search, and I'll get the entire information. If I want to search a certain incident which happened in a school, so what happens is, I just need to Google on it, and I'll get the entire history of the entire chain of events which happened. So even students are there who can surf knowledge, who can get information by searching on internet. So how we are different from them? So if only we are disseminating knowledge, so we are replaceable. We can be replaced every now and then because yes, कहते हैं ना कि Google is a very good teacher. So we have to ensure that we are so well groomed that yes, we are not replaced by AI. We are not replaced by all these modern IT tools. And that is where the differentiation factor is we as a teacher. In the digital world, okay, you can a student can attend online classes, but if we are there in the class, which is a physical classroom environment, certainly we can add a differentiation factor. The emotional connect, the social connect, the empathy, maybe problem solving, maybe listening to his problems. So these are few things which are differentiating us as a teacher and differentiating one teacher from another. Then second is, like I said in the startings, we are living in an age where we have information overload. Now, what is right, what is wrong, how to interpret that information is not there with students. कोई भी एक mass message चलता है and they fall prey to it. So we as teacher, it is our duty to make them understand, to make them realize the interpretation of various things which are there available online, which is right, which is wrong, why it is right, and how you can safeguard yourself. So the interpretation, making them understand, interpret, is there with us as teachers. Next, certainly it is our duty so that we are teaching. हम कहते हैं ना, in our country we have a very good demographic dividend as compared to any other country in the world. So our duty becomes far more important to ensure that the students whom we are teaching today are becoming responsible global citizens of tomorrow and bringing laurels to our nation. And certainly that is what adds us, which certainly increases our role as a mentor, as a teacher, or as a guru. Now, next, moving forward is, I suppose this is done with it, the 4 pillars. Now, what are 4 pillars of a teacher? First one is the personal traits. Any idea, any student, any faculty who is there enrolled in this, who are attending the session, who can shed some light on what are personal traits? Yes, anyone apart from Rashmi ma'am? Still waiting for your answers. So let me carry forward this session. I suppose the students who are faculty members are so very lethargic at this point of time that they are not interested in answering. So personal traits. These are few personal traits which you can find on screen. Yes, personal traits: love, compassion, integrity, transparency, patience, tolerance are few examples of personal traits. This teacher is very compassionate. Whenever we go to her, she is there resolving our problem. Fine. This is at times integrity. Yes, certainly patience is the most important, especially if you are teaching students who are maybe in the formative years of education, maybe from first to fifth standard. So this, Rashmi ma'am, patience required is the most important trait for us as teachers. Fine. So, but when we move to higher education, in my attitude, like as per my opinion, being transparent, being having integrity is something which motivates a student to build trust on a teacher. If I say something and I do something, certainly chances are there that student will not take me seriously, because they are all so very learned. They are all grown up. They have their own thinking capacity. They have their own mind. So what happens is, if I say something, I profess something, and I am always there telling students to be on time. Yes, you should never be late in class. Be on time. Be responsive. But yes, when my class starts, I'm there 15 minutes late to the class every now and then. So what happens is, I'm professing something, I'm preaching something, and I'm doing something else. So we as teacher should be professing, we should be a person of integrity. जो हम बोलते हैं वही हम करें, तो we would be role models for our students. We should be transparent enough. If I'm doing something in favor of one student, what is the reason? It should be transparent. Otherwise, what happens is, they may gossip, and rumors may fall, and hence certainly you as a person will find something different which you never thought of. So these are few traits which we say ki are required for teacher of today. That is, the personal traits are love, compassion, not being biased. Very true. And that is where transparency, because every now and then we hear this कि ma'am, you are being biased to this particular student. आप इसके साथ तो ऐसा करते हो, मेरे साथ ऐसा नहीं किया मैम. आपने इसको क्वेश्चन में ज्यादा मार्क्स दिए, मैंने भी वही आंसर अटेम्प्ट किया था, लेकिन आपने मुझे कम मार्क्स दिए. तो रश्मि मैम, I do understand this is a very small little thing, and we all have to face it, that yes, you are being biased, but this can be avoided if we are transparent. If students are able to understand that yes, ma'am is very transparent in her conduct, in her not only in teaching, but yes, in every aspect of life. Then comes our professional traits. Our communication skills. If I am a very good learned person. I have done my graduation, or I've done my engineering from IIT, and I've done my PhD from Harvard. But yes, I'm not able to make that concept understandable to a student. Then all my degrees, all my knowledge, or all my wisdom is in vain. So first and foremost thing is trying to get down to the level of that student and making them understand your subject. So that requires our communication skills. If we have knowledge and if we are able to disseminate that knowledge, that subject to a student in a manner so that he's able to understand it, apply it, think of it, then certainly we have this very good personality trait, which is a professional trait, which is of communication. Then comes academic expertise. Certainly, if we are there in teaching line, we have to be, if we are there in teaching line, it is a lifelong learning process. And certainly, we need to have mastery over a content or a topic or a subject which we have been assigned. Then comes listening skills. This is very much required in the elementary level of teaching, and is also in higher education. Students have their own problem, they have their own prejudices, they have their own mindset, and certainly we as teachers should listen to them, we should hear them rather than speaking more. As and when we excel, it is said that our listening should be more important as compared to our speaking. Then lifelong learning, which I said ki in teaching line, if you are there, you are bound to be a lifelong learner. And certainly engaging. It's not a one-way process. It should not be a monologue. It should be a dialogue. आज की डेट में अगर हम कहते हैं कि we have flipped classrooms, where you are sharing the content prior to with the students. They go home, they read, and then in class you're not teaching theory. You are telling them the practical aspect of it. You are discussing the practical outcomes, how it can be applied. So what happens is we are there engaging our students. We are not only disseminating information, we are engaging, and hence we are mentoring them. And then certainly we need to have ownership. We are custodians. The college, the student, their parents have invested a lot. They have a lot of expectations from us as teachers, and we should own, yes, this is our set of students and this is what we would be working upon them. So that is our custodianship. Next, we would say, coming on the next slide, is our social traits. जो हम कहते हैं ना, हम सब एक सामाजिक प्राणी हैं. So certainly we should be interacting. We have to interact. Even if I am a person who is introvert, then too I have to interact. If we are into teaching line, this becomes far more important. So what happens is there should be a sense of fairness and equity. We need to be acceptable. We need to accept the other person. Student may have a different perspective, we may have a different perspective, and we should not be judgmental. What we as teachers do is we judge people. We human beings have a tendency of being judgmental, and we as teachers do it more often as compared to any other you can say profession. So we should accept that yes, there are chances that the students which we have, a section of 60 students, they may belong to different background financially, they may have different cultural backgrounds. So what we need to do is we should accept the students the way they are. We should never impose ki nahi, 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 you have to do it in this particular manner because we assume it to be correct. So we have to be acceptable. We should have this feeling of accepting the differences in people, because at times what we see is in a class of 40 or 60, we have people from different states. Now, if I teach in Greater Noida or in Delhi, you have students who are there from Bihar, there are students from Uttar Pradesh, there are students from MP, Maharashtra, Delhi, Haryana. So every one of them have different background. They have their own personality traits. Some are very loud, some are very submissive, some are very assertive. So we have to deal with all of them, and hence we have to have this feeling of acceptance, understanding the differences, accepting them the way they are, and then adjust and certainly adapt ourselves. What we as teacher, we have to be adaptable. Then knowing limit. यहाँ पे एक सबसे important है कि we should know कि yes, we are human beings. Yes, ma'am. The majority of the content which I am speaking is in English, except one or two phrases which are there in local dialect. I hope audiences don't have any problem in it.
We have participants from South also. That's why I just want to let you know. Yes.
I know it. That is why you can see, except one or two local phrases, I'm using English as a medium of communication.
Yes, no issues, ma'am. You can continue.
Fine, sure. Then witty and sense of humor. At times when we attend a session as an audience, I hope all of you can associate with me as that a teacher who teaches in a manner which is very witty, adds humor, shares or cracks one or two jokes, shares some anecdotes or incidents. Chances are that students feel more attracted toward that teacher, and they tend to be more you can say attentive. They tend to listen to it, and then they say ki ma'am, when you are teaching in the class, we never knew that an hour has passed by. It passed by like if only 15-20 minutes we were there in class. So that is, we as teacher should use sense of humor. We should be witty in the classroom so that it does not become dull and monotonous. And yes, collaboration with students, collaboration with other people who are there in the industry, so that whatever skill I am not having, I can collaborate, I can network, and certainly enhance and work upon. Then emotional traits. Is emotional trait important for us as teachers? Any one of you can say yes. Why is it important to have emotional connect with students? Fine. So emotional, because when we are there in class, we have 40 students, 60 students. Certainly, what happens is every day is not a very good day for all of us as teachers. What happens is, maybe when we are back home, I was at home, I had a fight with my husband, maybe with my auto driver, maybe with my mother-in-law or a sibling. And when I entered the classroom, or maybe I was scolded by a HOD, and when I enter the classroom, what happens is I emotionally outburst. Because teachers, as teachers, we know students are a level below to us, and then certainly we are not able to control our emotions, and then certainly we are there scolding our students, we are there showing our temper in front of students. So that is where emotional traits come into play, because we are human beings. Every day is not a very fine day. Sometimes we are worried about something in our mind, but yes, when we are inside the classroom, we are there as a perfect person. Certainly. So what we need is, we should know how to control our emotions, and certainly not only ours. We have students. Maybe a student was scolded by a father before he entered the classroom. So what happens is chances are there that he may also be aggressive, and if you pinpoint something, chances are there that he may revert back, and which we may feel insulting too. So what happens is we should know how to emotionally connect with students. We should be empathetic, setting ourselves in the foot of the students. So we should have that empathy. We should be there trying to motivate our students, to inspire them, and yes, certainly be positive as a person. At times, being positive as a person, being optimistic, is something which is required for us as a mentor to be. Even if we feel, yes, this cannot be done, but yes, never lose hope and be positive and optimistic. That is what will inspire students to work. Now, if we talk about teaching, teaching is like a jigsaw puzzle. Now, if you can see here, you can find a jigsaw puzzle with different parts there in front of you. So these are different types of students which we have in our classroom. And for us, managing a classroom in 60 minutes is just like solving a jigsaw puzzle. Different people, different students from different background, they are all coming in, they are not fitting in, but we want them to fit in as per our expectation. We want to accept, certainly we do accept them, but yes, even they need to be accepted. So what happens is teaching is like a jigsaw puzzle. So we need to have command. Now, when we want to solve the jigsaw puzzle, what we need to do is we need to have command over subject and our instructions. Second, we need to be confident and trustworthy. If I am a confident teacher, I'm walking in, certainly student will listen to me. But if I'm stammering, I'm not able to deliver the content which I am expected to, so certainly what happens is it would be difficult for us, for students to accept you. And the moment they are not accepting you, chances are there they will be missing your classes, they will be bunking your classes, and certainly they'll be bringing or tagging your name that yes, this person is not well versed in his subject, so we don't feel like attending her or his class. So we should be confident, we should have command, and when we have command over a subject, certainly then only we have confidence, and then only when we walk in class, we have that confidence over our subject, over our content, and that is what will be the differentiating factor, and that is how we would be branding ourselves in the eyes of consumers. Our branding would be done. Then communication skills, certainly I have like it would be like reiterating what I told in the starting itself. The first thing and the foremost thing is, even if you have knowledge and wisdom, is to understand the level of the student and then communicate as per their expectation. And last one is motivating and inspiring them. I would like to just take a break to drink water. Excuse me for a second. Yes. So now next is, this is the entire jigsaw puzzle which we need to, if we want to have mastery in our class, if we want to command our class, these are the 4 things which we need so that the jigsaw puzzle is solved. Now, each one of us carries a brand. Now, we as a teacher have to build our own brand. Fine. So like if we say brands like Bata, Reliance, Tata, these are all brands and they have built this brand over years. And so we as teachers also have to do our personal branding. We have to stand out from others. And certainly this brand building is done by you as a teacher, by me as a teacher. And yes, it is done in the mind of consumers. Positioning is a term which we use in marketing, and positioning is creating an image in the mind of consumers. Fine. So same way we have to build our own personal brand, and this is done by the way our students remember us as teachers. Now, which form of teacher are we? This is something which I read in an article and I felt like I should share over here, is which kind of or which form of teacher are we? In Sanskrit literature, there are different forms of teacher. The first one being Adhyapak. The second one being Upadhyay. The third one being Acharya. The fourth one, which you can see, is Pandit. Next one is drishta, जो दृष्टांत दे, drishta. And the last one is guru. So we as teacher should try to excel and excel in this. Right from being adhyapak, we should in turn try to be a guru. Right from being adhyapak, we should try to escalate, we should try to reach the level of a guru. Now, if like who is an adhyapak? Adhyapak is a person, or like we as teacher, who are just passing on information. So what happens is, we are adhyapak and we are passing on the information to our student, is the role which we are performing as an adhyapak. Second comes upadhyay. Upadhyay means we are passing information, but along with it, we are providing them knowledge. We are giving them knowledge along with passing them certain information. Third comes acharya. We are passing on information, we are teaching them, we are giving them knowledge, but along with it, we are shaping their skills. We are inculcating a skill system in them. We are imparting them with skills. So that is what is the work of Acharya. Then comes Pandit. First three things, like passing information, passing knowledge, creating or instilling skills. And then Pandit is certainly the fourth one, which says that apart from only giving them skills, we are providing them the deep insights into the subject we are delivering upon. And Drishta is a person who is giving you a vision. Visionary, वो आपको दृष्टि प्रदान करता है, is a drishta, which means he's providing you with a vision to think beyond classroom, think beyond theory, think beyond what is taught in classroom. And finally, we become guru. Guru, as we all say, guru. Guru means a person who takes you from darkness to light. So now, how from darkness to light? Guru plays the role in shaping the personality of a student, wherein we make a student understand his true potential. We make them understand what he is, what his vision is, how talented he is. He should understand why, what, and we are empowering him. We are empowering him to understand his personality, to understand the things, and shaping him as a person, and shaping him as a person who's successful in every walk of life. So that is what our role is as a guru, right from adhyapak to guru. So we all need to escalate, we all need to grow from adhyapak till and should perform the role of a guru. Then what makes personal branding, what makes us as a brand? Our professional competence, certainly. How competent we are in the subject which we are delivering, in the profession which we are there. By choice or by force. If we are there in a particular profession of being teachers, certainly we should give 200% to it. It is our commitment. Then your love for teaching, certainly. Only if you love teaching, then only you'll be able to do justice. Otherwise, it would be just like a rhetoric work, coming, teaching, and going back. So it should be, if you have a passion to teach, then only one should venture into this line. Then what makes us as a brand is how human we are, how positive personality traits we have, what all human skills we have in us as a teacher. Then the values which I hold, principle, ethics, integrity, human values, these, and last but not least, are communication skills. Now, what speaks out loud for us as teachers is the way we are managing a class, the way we are able to build rapport with our colleagues, the way we are not only we are excelling academically, we are ensuring that our students also excel in academics, and the way we are mentoring our students speaks or brands us as a teacher. Now, what are various personality development methods which we as teachers can use? Training. Now, this training can be in-house, in-house, it can be external, it can be through third party. So this training is something which is very much essential for us to be updated, both in terms of knowledge, in terms of content, in terms of personality development. So certainly training is one thing which we need to continuously invest upon as a teacher. Second is collaboration, networking. Today is the age of networking. So what we need to do is we need to collaborate. Collaborate with third parties, collaborate with teachers from different colleges, from different associations, from different schools, and then work upon collaboration means coming up projects which are there jointly done in consultation with others. Networking with them, because this networking not only will help us, but will also help our students being placed. Then certainly extensive reading. Reading can be related to our subject. Reading can be related to co-curricular things, being updated with general happenings in the world or environment. It is not only subject oriented. It is, apart from subject, it is general related. Then our body language skills, the way we walk, the way we dress, the way we talk to a student, the way we carry ourselves speaks volumes about us as a teacher. And last but not least, inspiring. If I'm inspired from a person, certainly few may be inspired from us. So what happens is, whosoever is a role model, whosoever is an inspiration, taking a session from that person, learning from him, imbibing his values, following him, is how we can shape our personality as a teacher. Now, having a good personality is an important skill in life. It is not an easy feat to achieve, but yes, there are certain simple strategies, simple steps which we can certainly follow to achieve a good personality. First and foremost is smile and cheerful. If I'm a teacher who's always frowning when I'm there inside the class, I'm always frowning, I'm making a sad face, I'm always on my, I am high on my aggression, certainly people will not like me, students will not connect to me. So for me as a teacher, the first and foremost thing to develop our personality is to always smile, to keep a smile, because it is said, now smile is the distance, is a curve which makes everything straight. So try to smile and be cheerful. First thing. Second, if we are born with a personality which other people envy, certainly it is something which may be an accident. But yes, if we die without a good personality, it means that we have not worked upon. So we as teachers should think of, if we are not born and brought up with a very good personality, we should groom ourselves, we should change ourselves. And yes, dying with a good personality is an achievement which we all feel like, yes, people should remember us. Yes, she was a very generous teacher, she was a very nice person, she was very inspiring, she was very empathetic. So that is our personality in front of, that is what speaks volume about us as teachers. Then make simple changes wherever you feel needs improvement and enjoy it. What happens is, after a certain age, when we are there in late 30s and early 40s, we resist changes. We resist to change ourselves. But yes, change, as we say, is the only thing which is constant in life. And hence, we should change. As and when required, we should open-heartedly take change with a smile, and wherever there's a scope, we should certainly change. Then relax. We as females, if we are there in teaching life, we have plethora of work. The moment we get up in the morning till the time we sleep at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, n number of tasks, n number of things which we have to do before ending up our day. So certainly, everything can be take a backseat. But yes, we as teachers should remember that we have our own life. We need to take time. We should relax. We should, if we have a hobby, try to pursue it. Then refresh. And how we can refresh? By pursuing our hobby. Planning well in advance whatever has to be done in next day. Fine. And whenever given a chance, do try to prove your mettle. When we tend to be moving towards our age, what we as tendency is that, why should I prove myself? I'm there in this college since 5 years. Why should I prove? No, every day is a challenging day, and we need to prove ourselves every now and then. Then we should always have a role model whom we can take inspiration from. And certainly, these famous people who are our inspiration, or maybe common, even if they are not famous personality, even if they are common people whom you interact with, certainly we should be inspired from them, and we should try to imbibe values from them. And then think, look deep inside yourself and think about who we are, what are we working for. Why are we burning ourselves if we are not happy in a particular profession? And if anything makes us happy, do it. We as mothers, we as teachers, when we are spending time on ourselves, what we say, na, this is me time. We as females do not take out me time for us. And what happens is we are making, pleasing everyone, but we are not pleasing ourselves. We are not making ourselves happy. We are not appreciating ourselves because we are busy. So what happens is we should take time for ourselves and appreciate and know who we are. Then always be yourself. Learn to love. Certainly, give respect, and it is a two-way process. If you are giving respect, you will earn and command respect. Be friendly with everyone since it is already 25, and end each day with a gratitude. So that was all for the day. If anyone has any queries, I would love to address it. And in case you don't have, these are I have jotted down my contact informations. Always feel free to contact me on these particular links.